I miss my family. Probably the funniest line in DC League of Super Pets. I know I'm not the target audience for this movie, but I didn't really have anything else to do, and I kind of wanted to watch this movie. If this was like a Marvel animated movie, I probably would have skipped out on it, but just because it's DC, I really wanted to, see what they're going to do with the pets and the Justice League. And the Justice League's in this a lot more than I thought. And I didn't have any expectations for this movie, but I had a pretty good time watching it. A lot of positives, more than negatives. There is a couple of negatives, but all in all, it's a great time at the movies. Really funny. The voice acting is pretty good for the most part. Kevin Hart sometimes felt a bit off, but The Rock did a really good job. I think he was the best out of everyone, actually. And Keanu Reeves really surprised me as Batman. His voice really suits the character in an animated style. When I saw the trailer, which was absolutely terrible, I made up my mind. I was like, you know what? Even though the trailer's terrible, I'm gonna watch the movie and just, make up my own mind, because a lot of times that's the case. And Keanu Reeves, when I saw him on the trailer, I was just shaking my head. I shook my head at Kevin Hart, but like Keanu Reeves, I was like, really? But no, I would definitely watch like a cartoon of this animated version of Batman. It's fucking hilarious. He has some really funny lines. Not so much dramatic, but they literally play the Justice League for a joke, and I was all in for it because it was really funny how they handled it. Very, very, very beautiful movie. DC is just getting better at their animated stuff. Couple of surprises. I'm not going to spoil. There's a couple of cool villains that show up. And the pacing's pretty good for the most part. I'll get to that in a second. But the facial expressions on the dogs, the voice acting, especially when there's emotional moments, there's a lot more emotional moments than I thought there was going to be. And coming from a person that has a dog, loves dogs, the facial expressions just blew me away of how good they were on the pets. It was awesome. You really did feel bad for them. And there was a lot of jokes I laughed at. There was some I didn't. It even felt like even kids wouldn't laugh at it. It just felt stupid. But there's a good mix of there's a good variety of adult jokes and kid jokes. I think everyone could get a good kick out of this movie. It does overstay its welcome just a itty bitty tiny bit. If I was the director, producer, editor, or whatever, I would have. It's an hour 45. I would have cut it down just straight hour and a half, because there's literally almost like there's two scenes that almost take up 15 minutes, and they don't really do anything. They try to get you to connect with, try to make you feel bad, but it's not a bad scene, but it's kind of how the second act is paced out. If it was paced better, I think they could have fit that scene somewhere else. But the first act is hands down my favorite part of the movie, just because the Justice League gets introduced in a really funny way. Speaking of funny, Cyborg has a fucking afro. I don't know why they did that to him. There's a Green Lantern woman version, which I wasn't really a fan of. It's like, come on, just put Green Lantern in it. He's barely been in anything. Like, just put the normal Green Lantern in it. It's so stupid. But everyone else was good for the most part. Like I said, they just take them as a joke. And the first act is my favorite of the movie because it's very simple. I just liked seeing Kevin Hart, Crypto talking back and forth. Crypto's jealous of Lois coming into Superman's life, blah, blah, blah. And then just slips into more and more characters coming. I found them really funny, but I mean, if they died or anything, I wouldn't have really cared. I could have done without them. And I kind of just wanted, every time they're in a scene without Crypto, I just kind of wanted to go back and see more Crypto and Superman, because I really think that's the movie's strong suit, and they should have had a bit more of that. And there's, like I said, first act, really good pacing. Second act drags a bit. But once you get to the third act, it's pretty fucking satisfying to watch, especially because the fight scenes are very charismatic. There's a lot of humor. There's a lot of good dramatic moments. Everything you look for in like a final battle Hell, this final battle is some better than fucking some MCU final battles. I'm not gonna name anything specific, but yeah, it really goes to show how much DC can do with animated stuff. It's pretty fucking crazy how we can just feel bad for an animated dog that's not even real, or a gerbil. Sometimes you felt bad for the gerbils. All in all, good movie. Like I said, could have cut it down a bit, but I had a really good time with it. That's all I wanted. I wasn't expecting anything. It's a fucking kids movie, and like I said, good. There's a couple of good adult jokes. Everything else is basically for the kids, but I'm a pretty easy person to please when it comes to comedy, so I really liked most of the kid jokes. And I think they set it up for a sequel. I guess the ending kind of leaves on a big fight and then it cuts away, which was kind of cool. The ending, everyone coming together. There was no stupid jokes. It literally felt like a Justice League moment, but like just pets. It was kind of weird, but I was digging it. I was digging every second of it, other than the second act. So thank you everyone for watching the review.